Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for tuning in. I'm Jenny, and I am going live right here, as you can see on YouTube, and I am going to be doing some free clairvoyant readings. So, if you have a question for me, particularly more so around love, let's say, make sure you give me your first name, be very specific with your question, and also let me know what zodiac sign you are. If you're a Pisces, if you're a Capricorn, if you're a Libra, whoever. And let me know if you're a male or a female. But make sure you be very specific on the question that you want to ask me, because today is your chance. If you do want to book a private reading with me to get something more detailed, by all means, go to soulworkwithjenny.com. So let's get started, you guys. So thank you for everyone who's tuning in. And you probably have been feeling this for quite some time. For those of you who watch my weekly Cosmic Vibes series on YouTube here, I talk about the energies every day, what's coming up, how we can utilize the energy, what not to do, what to do, and so on. Now, we are in the eclipse season, which started the beginning of February. However, if you look back into January, you very well could have been feeling, something's off, or I feel something's coming. I just don't know what it is. Something is something. So this is happening, and that had happened in January to give you kind of heads up to prepare you for the season of the eclipse. Now, this eclipse is so powerful that it was pre-written before you were born. So what happens during this eclipse season is fate, karma, destiny. This is why the eclipse brings expect the unexpected, shocking situations. A lot of truth gets exposed in all areas of your life. So I always tell the people, always say this, no matter what, make sure you're resolving situations and issues before it sneaks up on you. And this is what happens. All of a sudden, a relationship could have ended. Maybe your partner's like, you know what, I want a divorce. Maybe you get proposed to. Maybe there's a job loss. The eclipse can work with us in a really, really good way. It can bring a lot of miracles through for you. It can bring wishes coming through for you. It can be life changing and life shattering. So the eclipse, when it started the 1st of February, it really kicked in officially, and it goes until March 19th. So we have this opportunity right now, and believe me, I take advantage of these energies to resolve things, to give you that extra push. I mean, I'm behind in certain things myself, and just that sudden, you know what, I got to get on this. I got to work on this. I got to get this going. And I just started doing this and doing this and doing that. So I'm going to utilize this energy to the fullest myself, because when you do that, you will see that things are going to flow more. That eclipse will work naturally with you. So, I mean, even yesterday, I was writing for, I think, 9 hours, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tired. And then I'm like, oh, that's why it's late. So I'm behind in projects. I'm behind in certain things for just different reasons. So my goal is to catch up on everything and have everything done before the 19th of March. So that is a goal. But when you work with this energy, it works with you. So this is why it's really important. And don't take a look at, oh my God, that's a huge goal, or oh my, don't do that. Just really get on top of that, because the 17th of February starts the official new year, the year of the fire horse. So fire energy, passion, fire burns the old to embrace the new. I actually know someone who gets triggered on the 17th of February, and I'm like, that could be a new start for you. That can be a rebirth. So don't look at the past. Really embrace where you're going, what you're heading towards. Because what you were doing in 2025, whatever it was, you're seeing more of those results now. So you're moving into 2027 with what is happening this year. So that's why it's like taking advantage of this energy, the full entire year of the fire horse, which is going to help you move things forward. It's going to give you more of a push. It's going to get you more motivated. You're going to start facing your fears. You're going to start believing in yourself more. You're going to get rid of people and situations that this just isn't me anymore. This isn't authentic anymore. I got screwed around with this, all of those things. So some of you might have already done that and are doing it now. So for those of you who have fears, oh my gosh, like maybe I want to ask that person out, or, you know, maybe I want to change jobs, or maybe I want to move out of the country, you know, really big jobs that you can move towards a new beginning. This is the year you're going to follow your dreams. Maybe you're going to be like, you know what, that's it, we're getting married this year. Maybe you're going to propose to your partner, as I said. Valentine's Day, some people get engaged on Valentine's Day, get proposed. Maybe you could find out you're pregnant during that time. Anything can happen. You know, this is the beauty of this energy right now. But you're going to find you're going to stand your ground. We're standing your power. I had to do that again yesterday. It's just like, this isn't acceptable. I found, I have a dog now. I was going to have him in the video, but he's fast asleep. My little Valentino. We were playing outside in the yard because the weather is good. So we're playing fetch back and forth. And I was going to have him in this video and he's sound asleep. So I have to let him sleep. He's a little puppy. But you've seen him in my videos and you'll see more of him. So yesterday I phoned the vet, you know, I need to get a little trim on his nails. Oh, we can't do that for weeks. But what? A nail trim? Not acceptable. So I phoned another vet clinic like 5 minutes away. Yeah, sure, bring him in. We can get perfect. Thank you. So I phoned back my other vet and I told them, you know, this and that. They never even had it booked in. Nothing, absolutely nothing. So this is when you're going to see things, you know what, maybe that's just not my vet. Maybe that's not my job. I don't connect with this. Pay attention to a lot of the red flags right now, you guys. Really pay attention to that. You know what I mean? Because you're going to find that, no, you're going to face things. You're going to face things more head on. The energy will work with you. As long as you're staying with integrity, you're listening to your heart, you're speaking your truth with honesty, being authentic, all of those things. Because if you're trying to, you know, use more of other techniques, things that, oh, I don't know about that, I'll just say this, I'll just make an excuse, it's going to backfire. It really is. And you don't need to do that. If you're doing everything, you know, from your heart, being authentic and so on, you know, we all have work we have to work on within ourselves. We're going to be doing that for the rest of our lives. No matter if you're 100 years old and you pass on, you're going to a new dimension, but you're still going to continue your learning. So this eclipse, as I mentioned, is super powerful. It's going to have the same energy for those of you. If you look back, I would say to December 2008, there's similar situations from February 2008, if you can remember, of what was going on then, like something more that stands out, you know what I mean? So if you look at that, you could find that there's very similar situations right now going on. I even look back to February 2008 and I'm like, you know, and I'm like, oh my God, you know, I mean, I'm not young, mind you, right? But I like, oh my gosh, that's so interesting because that's kind of what's going on right now. You know, for me, it was more connected with relationships and stuff. And I'm like, wow. So what you do is you don't freak out any of that. Look back at what did I learn from that experience? Like, don't bring your past into your future, but look back onto what you truly learned from that. You know, we all have lessons to go through. We all have different karmic situations we have to resolve and all of these certain things, but it comes down to what was the lesson from that. Even yesterday when I was writing, I'm like, oh my God, no, I've written all this stuff from before, and I'm like, oh my God, no. Just where is the shredder? Right? So I'm like, none of that. So I started redoing it again. Really listen to your gut, really listen to your intuition, because it's going to be super strong right now, especially your dreams. How many of you have had dreams? When you wake up, you're like, oh my gosh, I had this, I had this dream. I had this dream that, the person I like, let's say, was in it. And oh no, that person showed me signs they weren't interested. Or, wow, that person, I had this dream, this person was going to call me and ask me out. Very well could be happening this Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is the time where love opens up. Love can open up at any time when you're ready. However, if you are looking to be in a relationship, if you are wanting to, where's my person? What's going on? I always tell people, make sure you have healed from your last relationship first. Because if you have not healed from your previous relationships or even relationships, the minute you meet someone, that person could say something or do something, and it's going to trigger you from your last relationship. So automatically what's going to happen? You're going to put your guards up. You're going to get all defensive. Communication could go out the door. I'm not going to deal with you, and so on. So the relationship won't work. So you have to have that healing, look back and reflect on what you learned from your last relationships. And you can utilize that energy and bring it into a brand new one. The past is the past, as I mentioned. What did you learn from that? Like, we're all humans. Earth is one of the most painful planets. Why? Because it's Earth school. How many of you have been through enough traumas, enough challenges, enough this, lessons, and so on? That's why we're in Earth school. So let's say if you were to pass away right now, this very second, for whatever reason, whatever you have learned, whatever karma you didn't resolve, let's say, it's going with you. So when you come back in the next lifetime, you have to repeat certain things. So you're going to see that certain situations from other lifetimes, especially karmic partners. So when you're meeting someone, you could be like, oh my gosh, I've met my person. I've met my soulmate. Oh my God. That person could be coming back as a very, very karmic relationship for you. And it can bring in a lot of pain and suffering, all of these things. So that relationship for you could be lessons. Again, you have to repeat with that past person. So this is why it's really, really important to not rush into any relationship, to really take your time getting to know that person. Take a look at even before and ask yourself this, you guys. What are you looking for? Are you looking for someone to casually date? Are you looking for marriage? Are you looking for, friends with benefits? Like, you know what I mean? Everybody has their all different what they want, what they need, if it's marriage, having children, or certain things like that. So this is really important to look at. What qualities are you wanting in a relationship? Start writing it down and be very specific. Be very specific. The person has to be single. You guys have to accept each other unconditionally. The both of you have to be ready to start a relationship and wanting, let's say, either to casual date or marriage in the future. They have to be like if it's cultural or religions, make sure that you're okay with each other's culture or religions, because let's say there's religious differences. So you have a baby. What religion is the baby going to be born under? So you have to be very, very, very specific when you're dating, especially if you're looking to find a future partner to marry or to be in a very serious relationship. Some people just say, you know what, I'm so attracted to that person. The chemistry is off the rocks. That's my person. 6 months later, oh my God, this guy, he has 4 other wives. Oh my God, like you don't know that. Believe me, you don't know that. You can always book a reading. I'll give you full explicit details of it. So this is why this season right now with this eclipse is so powerful. You could be seeing that truth coming forth on your person, shocking results coming in with anything. If you're doing testing, if you're getting medical tests done, anything. There's a lot happening right now with a lot of truth. And it can really be painful when you find the truth out with certain things. So there's certain people that are going to be like, oh my God, I just got the results. Our challenges, our pain, our traumas, that can really push you forward into a huge breakaway and break forward. Breakaway, breaking forward to aligning up to be more grounded in alignment. Because that eclipse, the end of the eclipse season on the 19th of March, it basically wants to bring things more in alignment with what was out of alignment. So this is why this eclipse will step right in and remove certain people from your life just like that. And it can be anybody. It literally can be anybody in your life. Family member, friendship, your job could end, your relationship could end. Like anything can happen. So you have to really pay attention to the red flags right now, because you're really going to want to be setting even more boundaries. I have to set certain boundaries myself. We all do, but sometimes you have to set really, really strong boundaries, because people will continue to take you for granted if you don't. And then you could be like, why am I so drained? Why am I so tired? Because you're taking advantage of your energy. And why is that? You're allowing it to happen. So when we allow that to happen, we can't really look at anything else, right? We have to resolve that issue. We have to ask ourselves, why am I allowing that to happen? Why am I allowing this person to treat me like that? So that's why the eclipse will remove people. Finding truths out, finding all kinds of situations out. This week with love, we also moving into Mercury pre-shadow on the 12th. God be with us. The wrath of the pre-shadow of Mercury retrograde can be harder than the actual retrograde. So when you're looking at any type of electronical issues, technical issues, get it fixed now. We can get those pre-signs, let's say, get it fixed now before the actual retrograde, because when electronics break down during Mercury retrograde, people go out, oh, I got to buy a new computer, I got to buy a new phone, I got to buy a new vehicle, and you're spending all of this big money. That's not the time to be spending big money. If you've been working on something before, that's completely different. So it's like, okay, now I got to pay this person during the retrograde season. I started this project and they helped me with this, and that, and the bill's due in March. That's different because you started working on that before, and that completion comes in, which is going to line up perfectly around the eclipse at the ending. So if you're in relationships right now and you're like, this isn't working, talk to your partner. There's so many endings in relationships. Why is that, Jenny? Because there's no communication. I stress that out to people. Communication is number one in relationships. I didn't know you were mad at me. I didn't know you felt like that, because you didn't talk to your partner. You didn't speak with your person about what was truly bothering you. Well, they should just be able to figure it out. No. Talk to them. Have you ever read that book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus? The guy's like, what's going on with my wife or my person? Like, what's going on? I can't, I'm not a mind reader. And where the woman is, He should automatically know what I'm thinking. Oh, come on, you guys. Come on. Communication is so important. Endings can come, misunderstandings can come because of miscommunication and not communicating. But I don't want to tell my person that I'm upset with them about this and that because they'll walk away and they'll leave me. Why are you in that relationship? If you have to walk on eggshells and you cannot be yourself when you're in a relationship, you're in the wrong relationship. Your partner will accept you unconditionally. No relationships are perfect. Oh my gosh, no. It takes two people to work on a marriage. It takes two people to work in a relationship. That's why I also do relationship coaching. I'm also a relationship coach, and these are certain things that I bring up for couples to really pay attention to. Well, he should know what I want. Well, did you talk to him about that before? Well, he should know. No, it's just like, well, my wife should automatically know. She should know. Speak up. You don't have to be rude about it or blunt. Sit down and have that heart to heart talk. When you are speaking your truth, you know what? I have just a little bit of concerns about this, and I don't want to hurt you or anything, but I just wanted to talk to you about, I have some concerns with this. Absolutely. If your partner says, I don't want to hear about this. I don't want to hear about negativity. Yeah, but I have some concerns about that. And I'd just like to talk it over you so we can clear this and resolve this. I don't want to talk to you. Why are you with that person when that person is shutting you down? I'm just saying to you guys, it saves a lot of heartache. It saves a lot of heartbreak. Some people, they get married too quickly, they rush into a relationship too quickly, and it can end just as fast because you're living in that fantasy world of how you expect the relationship to go. Everybody puts on their best front when they go on the date, when they meet the person they like. They can get all dressed up, they can act really nice and polite. Of course you would. Of course you would. However, you also have to be honest with your person. What are you looking for? Are you looking for a long distance relationship? Are you looking for somebody locally? Are you looking for a long-term relationship, marriage, or just casual? You got to be really, really honest. Very important question. Do you want children? If your person says, I'm not sure, this is something you have to really look at. If the person's like, oh my gosh, yes, I want a family, I want children, then you can move on if that's what you want. Yeah, I don't think I want children. I don't think so. If you think in your mind, oh, I'll convince him to have children or I'll just automatically get pregnant and he'll just fall in love with me no. Why do you think divorce rates can be so high? It's like a high school, like a really young girl, let's say, oh, I'm in love with this person. Oh my God, they're my person. I'm purposely going to get pregnant to keep this person. What happens? You end up being a single mother, right? So I'm just saying there's so much involved when it comes to relationships. You can meet somebody and really pay attention to, especially when you meet somebody, how you feel when you're with that person. Whenever we're meeting somebody, let's say on a date first time, of course you're going to be a little nervous. You could be excited, you could be nervous, all those emotions going through. That's perfectly normal. It's like a job interview. You go to a job interview, you're going to be nervous. And the person interviewing you already knows that they're going to be nervous. So, however, when you go on a date, you meet somebody and that you have that feeling of, I don't know, something, I don't know what it is. Something's just off, or God, I was so nervous you got to pay attention to that. Those are red flags. And that shows you the person might not have good intentions towards you. So there's certain things to look out for. And it's like, take your time getting to know that person. Oh yeah, we met, we hit it off, the chemistry is amazing. Yeah, we're going to get married and all of these things. You go out on a second date. Oh yeah, we ended up being intimate. Oh my God, that was just mind blowing. That's my person. When do we get? Really? You don't know each other. It takes time. Sometimes there's arranged marriages and it can work out really, really nicely. It just depends on your comfort zone with so much more involved. But with the divorce rate so high, it really comes down to communications. Some people end in a divorce and they're like, you know what? I'm better off being friends with my ex than being in a romantic relationship with them. I mean, I would rather end a relationship in that way than, oh my God, I'm going to block this person. I'm going to get a restraining order. And that happens, like, oh my God. But what led it up to that moment for you? Like what happened? Look back on the communicating. But I've talked to my person about my concerns, Jeni, so many times over and over, and he's still doing it. So what I say to that person is, why are you still with that person? Are they bringing you happiness? Are they dragging you down? Are they controlling you, manipulating you, treating you like crap? You have to pay attention. There's certain limits. We all have limits in relationship. That's why divorces happen. So I'm just saying, you guys, just balance things out, especially now. The eclipse is mind-blowing. You're going to see a lot of truth come out anyways during the eclipse. There's the truth has been exposed even more around the world. That's no surprise. And that's just going to continue over and over and over and over again. However, look in your own personal life. Where have you seen truth? Be honest with yourself. Be really, really honest with yourself about it. The truth can hurt. However, the truth can set you free as well. For every ending, there's a new beginning. Always, at any given second. The eclipse is new beginnings any given second. Any given second. It's a new opportunity for you to change your life. When you start changing your thinking from fear and negativity into positive, you'll really start seeing a difference. It's facing our fears, and you're going to see that you're going to start doing that. I mean, even I have like really big projects I've been working on, like, oh my gosh. And I've been behind in them for just different reasons. I work on it when I can because my clients are my number one, my priority, always will be. But yesterday I had this kind of window open up after my day kind of, and that's when I started writing for like 8 hours or 9 hours. And I'm like, oh my God, like, oh, I'm so tired, and back and forth with the person that I need to cooperate with it on, like, oh my gosh. So really pay attention to that, you guys. So, like, just keep in mind that, whenever I'm answering questions and such like that, if you guys have a question for me, be very specific. Let's say, let me know your first name, your zodiac sign, of course. I always add in zodiac signs because I'm always curious to see, who's in the room, as I call it, who's in the house. So we have a question here already from Francesca. Francesca, I've always liked that name, Francesca. I've always liked that name for some reason. And you're Sagittarius. What's coming towards me in love? So, what I keep on hearing for you, Francesca, is it's really, really important to, clear out the past. Like, honestly, clear out the past. I'm literally hearing the past from third-party involvements. Really take a look at different people you've been dating, if they have another person around them, if they're dating somebody, if they're married, or if they're like, you know what, I'm not sure, I'm kind of have somebody with a legal past and stuff. Really be careful of that. You have a lot that's going to be coming in for you this entire year, by the way. But right now for love, I keep hearing there's someone, and it very well could happen around, this time, because you guys will also see certain people from the past coming back. So I keep on hearing there is someone from your past. There is someone that could spring it out of the blue and confess, Francesca, I like you. Are you single, Francesca? They very well could just start talking to you, and you're going to be like, oh yeah, they just started talking to me. You know, look at that, like really, really look at that, because that person could really, really surprise you, and there is also somebody else coming in for you, and I keep hearing the month June for some reason being circled. I'm seeing the water. I mean, it looks like it's like a beautiful place, location where there's water. And I'm seeing someone, and this person that I'm seeing coming around you, you're going to feel that I know this person somehow. I just really know this person somehow. I feel very comfortable with them. And you very well might not know them, but you're going to feel very comfortable. So there is potential for marriage with that, yes. Okay. So just in the meantime, start writing down what qualities you're looking for with this person, future person, marriage, all of those things, because there is marriage potential with this other person I'm seeing you with, by the way. Loves to travel, big smile, very, very nice looking, could be taller, darker features, you know, things like that. And I'm just, like I mentioned, I'm seeing the water. I'm hearing Europe for some reason, like just, oh wow, I'd really like to be there myself. Where this destination I'm seeing you at, and where this other person is. So there's very interesting, but just keep in mind, as I mentioned, the third party, like it's almost like you're moving on from a third party situation. There's some type of interference with something before. So, and the rest of this year for you looks amazing too, by the way. I do have a couple of concerns about that, but you can always book a reading with me and I can go over more details with you. So, Amy, but just keep in mind, you guys, I won't talk about like personal situations that could embarrass you. I won't talk about legal situations either. So I will hold back on certain things, of course. So, Amy, September 8th, when will I get married? Okay. Marriage for you, Amy, yeah, I do see marriage coming for you, but I'm also hearing that, it's almost like there's like some inner conflicts going on with someone. There's something, if you're like in a relationship now, for instance, there very well could be a lot of inner conflicts with your person. If you are not in a relationship, let's say the next person that you meet coming in, because I do see marriage for you, I'm seeing a move like more a countryside setting with you, something very quiet, really serene, something very nice, falling in love. The person has money, all of these things. But there's something that's holding that person back. So number 3, I keep seeing the number 3 for you. So it very well, you could be getting married within 3 years. If it's something right now, confliction that let's say you're engaged, it could be maybe 3 months, things could start improving a little bit better for you. But whatever you do, don't push the situation whatsoever. Like, love can't be pushed. When's my person coming? I can't believe I haven't met them. Things happen for a reason. I mean, just to give you an example, I was talking to someone. I talked to all walks of life. He he was going through a lot, like a lot. Everything was falling apart in his entire life. And he goes, I'm sitting right here with a shotgun to my head. So I have nothing to live for. So, and that wasn't too long ago, really. Wasn't that long ago. So long story short, I talk to him pretty much every day. and his whole entire life has changed in such an amazing way. An amazing way. All of his dreams once upon a time ago, that everything he wanted, he has now seen that now happen for him. There's a certain way we can manifest that. There's a certain way we can make that happen. You know, everybody is different, and you guys can't judge anybody. Like you can't, you know, we meet all walks of life. We all do. You know, there could be somebody that, you know, looks pretty run down. Maybe they're wearing kind of old clothing, and you know, they haven't had time to really groom themselves really, really well. You could judge that person really harshly. They could be a billionaire, a millionaire. I actually know somebody that owns so many different companies. He's a billionaire. He's one of my clients, actually, and you would never in a million years ever know it. So you can't judge anyone, you guys. Just keep that in mind. Jeni, I think it is. June 18th, Cancer, will I move to another country this year? I do see a move for you, yes, 100%. And what I'm actually hearing more so than anything is your emotions. You're going to ground your emotions so much better this way. You're going to ground your emotions so much better even before you move. I do see it being somewhere where you're going to be much more happier. I see you, you know, being grounded is what I keep on hearing. You have to really set stronger boundaries, which I do see you going. I would keep your ideas to yourself even more about that. I wouldn't be talking to a lot of people about where you want to move. So if you say, you know what, I want to move out of the country to here or here, let's say, you're going to find that if you say that to the wrong person, why would you move there? They're automatically going to start saying all of these negative things about the location you want to go. You know, there's always the good and the bad and the ugly. I mean, even me, myself here in Canada, oh my God, if I had the money, I would be gone in seconds. It's a horrible place to live because of the Liberal government. Don't even get me going. But you know what I'm saying? If you have plans on looking at moving away, keep it to yourself. However, what I want you to do is wherever it is you're drawn to, you know, I see the water. I see water around you too, by the way. Look at everything that's involved. I've lived in 3 countries myself throughout my life. Maybe there'll be a 4th one. And it's important to do your research on it. Research for medical, research, taxes, research, cost of living, research for your rights, and so on and so on and so on and so on and so on. Really do a lot of research on where you want to move to and find out absolutely everything you can. You know, if you're looking at renting or buying property, let's say, you know, look into that. So you know that, you know what, for this amount of money, I can get this. Some people just move and say, we'll figure it out later. Don't do that. Don't do that. You got to know what to expect. Some places you move to, I have this amount of money to rent. And you're like, oh my God, I'm renting a box for that amount of money. So do your research. But yes, I do see a move for you. You know, this is a time where you want to really start making long-term goals. You know, I talk about making short-term goals, long-term goals for quite some time. Always, always. I have short-term goals, I have long-term goals, because the goals that you're going to be doing this year and completing, let's say, like right now for me, I'm like, oh my God, I got to get on this, which believe me, I am. You know, it's setting you up for 2027. It truly is. Like you'll see it. Like look back on 2025, you guys, for whatever it was, relationships or business, like whatever it was. Look at where you are today. What did you complete? Because 2025 was a very challenging year for a lot of people, because that was the universal 9 year, which was all about endings and completions, ending jobs, ending relationships, all kinds of things, death, a lot of deaths, medical problems, medical issues, so many things like that. So that's why it was a very painful, difficult year for a lot of people. So you had to go through that to get that all done and over with and out of the way to move into this new year, which, by the way, starts the 17th of February, the year of the fire horse, universal 1 year, new beginnings, plus the fire horse energy, and the month of the eclipse. Oh my God. So this is the time to look at every single thing you want to change. Everything. Because those of you who want to get married, let's say, maybe your person will propose to you this year, the marriage will be next year. Maybe you'll meet your person this year. Maybe next year you'll be in like a serious relationship or getting married or even having babies. So this is so vitally important. And the number one is to have patience. Patience. I don't have time to meet my person. My biological clock is ticking. I want this, I want that. Well, anybody can go out and meet someone and settle. I mean, if you're okay with that, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? You just have to go in your comfort zone. However, some people are worth the wait. You know, would you rather wait to find the right person so you can have that forever marriage and the family you want, let's say? Would you? Or do you want to just meet someone, go in a relationship you're not happy with just to be in a relationship, get pregnant, have your children, and then end in divorce? So you got to be really careful, you guys. Really, really careful. You know, it takes time building a foundation with somebody, getting to know them. You know, like, oh my gosh, I have my stories. I have my stories. You know, we can think we know somebody, and yet, you know, this person, I can sense something is really off. I know there's something different about this person, and oh my God, why? If I told you, I'm not going to, of course, I don't want to embarrass the person, but oh my God, seriously. So now is the time to really look at this. So you could be feeling, even during this time, Valentine's Day, it can be really hard on some people. You know, like for me, Valentine's Day is when I picked up my dog's ashes, Bella, Valentine's Day. So, you know, we can get triggered. Maybe some of you are not in a relationship and you feel alone or lonely during Valentine's time. That happens. It's like certain holidays we can get triggered and such like that. Why don't you treat yourself to something you like, or go do something, buy yourself something, you know, whatever, you know, you want. Go buy chocolate, Valentine's Day chocolate and flowers type thing, or go buy yourself a nice dinner, or cook yourself a nice dinner, or, you know, go to the spa. Like certain things, like you have to treat yourself. You can't wait for the perfect person to start living your life and for that person to buy you flowers or to take you on a date. You know, there's some women that ask guys out. There's some guys that are too shy to ask somebody out, you know, whatever sex you're into, you know. So maybe you'll get the courage to say, you know, happy Valentine's Day. If there's somebody that you're interested in, you know, and you're like, I don't know if that person is into me, you can always send them a little simple message. Simple message. Happy Valentine's Day. Hope you have a great day. It doesn't mean you're coming on to that person. It doesn't mean, hey, I want to date you. I want to marry you. No, no. Happy Valentine's Day. That can start off a conversation. You know, that person could be like, oh my God, I didn't realize they liked me, or oh my gosh, you don't know that. You truly don't know that. Keeping things simple is the best way as much as possible. You know, March can be, you know, February and March, especially this year, there can be a lot of legalities involved, legal things going on, contract signing, court cases. Tax season, oh my God, don't even get me started on that. It wipes out everything I have on tax season. Certain things like that. It's a month where we get certain things done. But when it comes to Mercury retrograde, this is what I'm saying, resolve things as best as you can. Things do get resolved during Mercury retrograde, but if you're signing a new contract, just make sure you pay attention to what you're signing. If it's something that you're renewing, a lease or a contract or whatever, that's fine. If you're like, yeah, no big deal or whatever like that. Like even my website guys, I've been with them for, oh, oh my God, like I think 15 years. I've been talking to them quite a bit. I'm making some changes on my website soon to come. Adding classes too, by the way. But so it's our communication with other people, our relationship we have with people. Like we have a lot of Venus energy too. Venus energy is not only about romance. Venus energy is relationships. Valentine's Day, yeah, it's more about romantic relationships and stuff. But if I knew somebody that was, by themselves, I might just send a little happy Valentine's Day to a friend. It's not like I'm coming on to that. No, right? Just happy Valentine's Day. There's some people that are so alone and lonely, even just to get a little message, happy Valentine's Day with a nice little emoji or something, to cheer somebody up. But you got to make yourself happy. You can't wait for, what? Once I find my person that I can do this, then I will be happy. Then I can live my life. No. In order to be happy and be in a relationship that's going to make you happy, you are the one that has to make yourself happy. You can't depend on somebody else to make you happy. Even my dog brings me happiness. Yes. Right? That's my little bundle of joy. That's my little love, my little Valentino. He's still sleeping, so otherwise I was going to have him here in my video. But you'll soon catch him in. I have put him in a couple of my Cosmic Vibes video, and he'll be in more. A lot of times, mind you, it's normally when he's in a nap. You can follow him on Instagram, Valentino 2026 888. You can see my dog. And I'm on Instagram too. Follow me there, Jeni Ji Cousins or Jenny Cousins. There's a lot of information that I post up there, and my team posts up there as well. I also have like a Facebook group, a private Facebook group called Higher Vibes with Jeni Ji Cousins, I think. And I had a lot of content in there that I don't put on other social media platforms as well, and so on. So you can do that. And if you do want to book a reading with me, soulworkwithjenny.com. I give out a lot of details where we can talk in private. It's just between you and I. What is said between you and I doesn't go anywhere else but between you and I. So make sure you follow my Cosmic Vibe series on YouTube. There's a lot of different interviews on there as well that I've done in the past. Because you can go back to the Cosmic Vibes weekly. I do it weekly. So, and I talk about every single day what's coming in with the energy, how to work with it, how to move through it, how to really make things, like I work with the energy. It's like I will plan certain things around certain energy days, because then the energy flows, things start to open up for me. And it's like there's certain days where like, oh my God, no, I'm not booking that during that day or that time. Oh my God, no. So these are why I do these videos, and to give you a better understanding of why things are happening the way they're happening. So, I want to thank you guys for tuning in and such like that. And let me know what you guys are doing for Valentine's Day. Like, are you looking for love? Are you going out? Are you treating yourself? You should treat yourself no matter what. No matter what. I actually bought my little puppy a couple of Valentine's gifts myself. I wasn't looking. I just like, oh my gosh, yes, I have to buy him that. It was a little red sweater with some, or red and white sweater with X's and O's on it. And I bought him a new squeaky toy. of a dog with big hearts on it and big heart glasses. Of course, I'm going to spoil my little dog with Valentine's gifts, but don't forget to spoil yourself, for goodness sakes. So thanks everyone again for tuning in here, and have a wonderful Valentine's Day, and make sure you keep your heart open. Don't close it, and look back on your previous relationships to see what you learned from that. But don't bring unhealed energy into new relationships, because it won't work at all. It'll crash and burn. So thanks again, everyone. Namaste.